What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's full-time reaction to Celtic 4, Motherwell 0. I've got Stuart and Martin with me to go over. Stuart, a good win for us. Back to winning ways after 3 draws in a row, technically, despite the fact we won the cup final in penalties, and I think a much better performance, particularly in that second half.
The first half I was expecting a bit of a response, to be honest, from the Dundee United game, and to a point we maybe got it a wee bit, but I was sitting there kind of a wee bit itchy, wanting a wee bit more, and I think in the second half we absolutely got that. It was like a switch was flicked, and even before the kind of stronger players and bringing Kuhn, Hatate and Kyogo off the bench, it's been a long time since Celtic had that level of depth. I think another thing to consider is just how well Brendan Rodgers is managing the squad this season. I think he's shown a great ability to deploy the right players at the right times. Against Dundee United, we had a bit of a situation where the team just lacked any creativity or verve. It was kind of the same in the first half, but the second half, as you say, was fantastic and good to get 3 points, but also good the nature of the way we finished that game. Really, really strong. Nearly scored a magnificent goal with the very last move. Just come away very pleased.
Aye, absolutely, Martin. Obviously, again, starting line-up a bit stronger, but the right-hand side, missing Alistair Johnson, who's been a big player this season, Yang on the right wing, maybe just didn't quite have the same fluency first half, kind of carrying on from the last few games, I suppose, but we get the breakthrough with a penalty. Engels puts it away, really good penalty, and he's involved in the second goal as well. A great set-piece delivery. That's a hallmark of his play so far. He's came in for a bit of criticism here and there, and that price tag hangs over him, but would you make his performance today?
I thought he was excellent. I thought, sort of 2/3 of the way through the game, in fact, even halfway through the game, well, maybe not half-time, but early in that second half, I already thought he's going to get man of the match. And I know he went off, didn't play the full 90 minutes, but one of the things Stuart called out to make the game was just his corners are exceptional, and we've struggled to score from corners in recent years. But with his corners have always got a chance, and that second goal I enjoyed it a lot. Just got a wee touch for Scales, but the space at the back post for Maeda, and almost felt like it was off the training pitch. But his cross into the box is critical, and it made the finish for Maeda so easy. I think he was only a couple of yards out, nobody near him, and just a nice simple header in. So I think it's good that he brings that. He's got good free kicks as well. He nearly had a good chance with a free kick late in the game and nearly scored with it just before he went off. But I thought overall his general play, it doesn't matter what sport you play or what you do in life, confidence is massive, and I think he has been lacking in confidence a little bit because of some of the overreaction and the criticism from, let's be honest, from some of our own fans, but also from elsewhere, from the press. But today he answered his critics to some extent, and at a time when we needed players to dig deep, he really came to the fore, and I was really impressed, and he definitely deserved man of the match. Aye,
it was important for us to get the breakthrough before half-time, Stuart, but I thought that the difference in tempo in the second half was marked.
Absolutely. I came out for that first half thinking it's good to get a penalty. Obviously, you want to score it, but I hope that doesn't take the impetus away from saying, right, this needs to be better. We need to up our levels here. And to be fair to the team in the second half, it's almost like they decide to play faster, they play snappier, quicker. It's just more fluid overall. And domestically, when we do that, we're absolutely untouchable. And I think you saw that in this game tonight. We'll say tonight, it's winter, so obviously it gets dark early. Thursday 3 o'clock kickoffs, not for the faint-hearted.
Not bad.
But yeah, the second half was the kind of performance that you expect, I think, quite often from this Celtic team. Sometimes I think the expectation's unfair though, because with the amount of games there is in a season and all of the different rigours, that comes back to the point I'm making about Brendan Rodgers. I think he's really, really good at knowing how to have, maybe not 90 minutes, but periods in games where we play with an intensity that is just, teams like Motherwell today just can't live with it.
Aye. I thought off the bench, obviously we bring the big players on, Kyogo, Kuhn, Hatate. Kuhn gets on the score sheet, Hatate gets on the score sheet. I thought Hatate looked like a man possessed. I think done in the world a good starting on the bench, didn't it?
I thought when he went off last week at Dundee United and he takes the top off right in front of the Celtic end, I think, not a clever thing to do, and I'm frustrated watching him. Stuart and I were having a blare at the game, just talking about Hatate's persona, how sometimes it can be misunderstood, and what's he really thinking inside. I think he's just somebody who's really, really passionate, committed to what he does. He's a winner. He's almost obsessed with his professional role. And today starts on the bench, and you think, I wonder what Hatate's going to come on. I mean, the excitement when those three came on, you think this is a game changer. These three coming on and he was massive. He was massive in the game and really influenced it. And what I really enjoyed when those three came on was a lot of the play. We didn't have to go out wide and wait the cross coming in. They were just playing beautiful wee triangular passes, not just between those three players, but those three, probably plus Maeda. I think those four players were just playing the wee sort of clever one-touch passes. And of course, a couple of the goals came from that, where they played some nice interchange between those players, and then just shot from the edge of the box and two clever finishes. I know one of them was a deflection, but I really enjoyed those three coming on. I enjoyed Hatate's play today. We know he's not fantastic every single week, but when he's good, he's a joy to watch. And even just to watch his performance today, albeit it was only for 30 minutes or so, that was worth the entry money alone.
Aye, absolutely. Stuart, you mentioned Brendan Rodgers, how he's managing this squad. And there's no doubt we've had a dip in the last few weeks, but we are coming towards the end of a calendar year where we've only had one domestic defeat.
Remarkable.
We've got St Johnstone on Sunday, so again, you'd expect maybe for there to be wee dips and troughs through a season, but we've had a remarkable calendar year.
Aye, this is how it feels to be Celtic, isn't it? Brendan Rodgers here for 10 in a row, hopefully. And at this point, I think it feels like a really interesting kind of crux point in the season, where I think we saw in the game at Hampden that other team, one of the other teams in Glasgow, the one that's in the Premiership, they have, I think, gone up a wee bit of level. I think they've found that they've found a system and a way of playing that works, and that they're having to answer the question. Good thing we're not in a press conference. Phone's going off. I think they've found a way of playing that kind of answers some of the questions that we have put their way. And it's going to be interesting to see how that goes when these two teams lock horns at the turn of the year, because I think this feels like a point where Celtic really, really need to stamp their authority and just say, this is our title, you're not getting near us. I don't want the door opened. That's the kind of key part. And I think today played an important role in us just saying, we're getting back to our levels, our best players know what they can do, know what they can deliver. And today they showed that. And I think the second half, and in particular the final half hour, was a joy to watch.
Aye, absolutely, Mark. We've got St Johnstone on Sunday before that big game at Ibrox, and everybody's always looking towards that game and looking for players to be in form. And hopefully that second half is a sign that some of the big players are going to start to step up now. I
mean, it's a remarkable season so far. A remarkable season. I thought it was an overreaction to an away draw last week and difficult conditions with a first 11 that was to some extent depleted. I think the reaction sometimes to these singular results is extraordinary. You take a step back and you look at the season that's just been way above and beyond what we could have possibly dreamt of. So, great success. Great to have Brendan back. Great to have a squad that's predominantly fit. There's only one or two players who've got a knock, just now Johnson being the obvious one. Kuhn coming back into the squad today was massive and playing in the game. So we've got almost a full strength team. We've got an amazing manager. I mean, what he did again today, and I know you have touched on it already, is he made some changes in a game that wasn't going our way. We had a couple of chances in the first half. We're really struggling to be creative, and Brendan does what he does best, and he tinkers with the formations, the personnel, the tactics. He tells them what he needs them to do differently in the second half, and immediately in that second half we come out a different team. So we've got a manager who can get the best out of players. He can turn them from good into great, and he does it week after week. And if it wasn't for Brendan, we wouldn't be in the position we're in right now. We're plus 44 goals after 17 games in the league. Incredible. It's incredible. We're banging in goals. We're hardly conceding any. Our goals against in the league in those 17 games is minuscule, and we're scoring from a wide range of players. Our number 9's not scoring as many just now, but the goals are coming from all over the pitch. So there's not a sole reliance on players like your number 9. This is a special team and a very special manager. And I'm really excited about what's yet to come. St Johnstone, Rangers after that away, and for the remainder of the season. And we are on course for the treble, and we are on course to qualify in the next stage of the Champions League. So I can't wait to see what's to come.
We look back in the groove today, Stuart. Engels got the sponsor man of the match. Who was it for you?
Oh, put me on the spot there. I can see why it was given to Engels. Yeah. I don't know if you can do it for a body of work of half an hour. But
cameo.
Real Hatate that was him. In some ways, I feel like I'm his biggest champion sometimes, because I think some people look at his lack of consistency and just how. I think you made some important points there, Martin, about how he is a player that that really needs to have things kind of mentally right to get the best out of him. But I think he did more in that half hour than we've seen in like 2 90-minute performances from him sometimes.
3 or 4.
And the goal was perfect. Like after it, I did kind of simulated like shooting an arrow because I thought it was dead-eye precision and accuracy, and the energy and the fluidity that he played with when he came on was why I believe when he's operating, and we have 3 magnificent Japanese players, when he is operating at the top level of his ability, he is the best one of those 3 magnificent players, and today he showcased exactly why I think that.
That's a big statement, maybe a debate for another day. Martin, man of the match.
I'm going to challenge Paul just to have a special episode on the Japanese players, because I enjoyed Stuart's company today talking about which Japanese player would you keep, which one's most in form, who do you most enjoy a night out with, and all that stuff. What a laugh we had today. But there are 3 special players. If you look at Kyogo, Maeda and Hatate, and we're lucky to have them, their energy levels, their technical ability. I enjoyed watching all 3 of them today. Kyogo was unlucky. I think he was trying a wee overhead kick there right at the end. 3 special players.
What a goal that would have been.
What a goal, because what a move it was. But they're all great, and I think one of the things we all love about them is just their work ethic. And I think Hatate today, interesting that he comes on and makes such a big impact. Yeah. And you wouldn't be surprised if he's sitting and analysing every part of that game, you know, weaknesses, strengths, and you know what a manager he'd probably be, because he really is obsessed with, you know, the technical side of the game, and he's probably came on and thought, I can go and influence this game because I paid attention to areas in which I can impact the game. Who knows? So I think, yeah, his last 30 minutes was good, but I think for me, Engels, the confidence, the penalty, he put it the wrong side, keeper went the wrong way. It was a perfect penalty. Not just the corner from which we scored, but he had other corners in which there were excellent crosses, and we could have scored more. So for me, and again, was delighted to see him. He's been on a wee bit. Had a wee dip in form after playing really well in the start of the season. We know what he's capable of, and we're now just looking for him. But back to your point, Paul, around Brendan just managing players' game time. I think Engels maybe just needs a wee run now to get him some confidence and get him back in form. So for me, Engels today.
Yeah, I think just Engels for me as well. There you go, that's it. Full-time reaction. Like the video, give us your own thoughts on the game below, and please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you at the weekend for the build-up to that game against St Johnstone. Thank you.